Our principal speaker, Britt Conroy.
Good afternoon. It gives me a great honor to introduce our principal speaker, James Hatch, who goes by Jimmy. Jimmy served a 25-year career in the Navy with over 20 years of service as a member of the Naval Special Warfare Development Group, Navy SEALs. Jimmy was involved in over 150 missions in locations including Bosnia, Iraq, and Afghanistan. On his final mission in Afghanistan, Jimmy suffered a catastrophic gunshot wound which ultimately forced his retirement from military service. Jimmy is the author of Touching the Dragon and Other Techniques for Surviving Life's Wars. He is a vocal advocate for eradicating the stigma surrounding mental illness and draws on values learned in the military to confront often ignored issues, showing how recovery is a team effort that began with one reaching out. Jimmy is a graduate of Yale University and is also the founder of Spike's K9 Fund, where he works to protect working K9 dogs in law enforcement and military service. It gives me a great honor to introduce our principal speaker, Jimmy Hatch.
Pretty serious today up here, huh? A lot of serious things going on. Well, I'm here to change that. Look, these days can be pretty heavy. Somebody said earlier, we were walking around, somebody said, we probably won't get any of the politicians here. And I said, yeah, who cares? They weren't with me on any of my missions either. We took care of stuff. Not I got shot up. I didn't see any politicians carrying me to the helicopters, you know? We're all right. We're good without the politicians. They can do their things. We'll do ours, yeah? First thing I want to do is say thanks. When Britt asked me to speak, I was really grateful. I was also a bit worried because she's a pro and I've seen her work, the stuff she does at University of New Haven, and she's got a high standard. And I'm hoping to meet that today. So thanks, Britt. The history of Memorial Day. We often hear different things, right? I learned in class recently, history is a collection of stories that you get to choose which ones don't make you sick. So I'm going to say that the real Memorial Day started after the Civil War when recently freed, formerly enslaved people got together and celebrated the fact that people fought on that mission for them. Now I want to get personal. And I don't know how you could not be personal in a setting like this. So, 2005, I was in Afghanistan, and I was on, by the way, I messaged the wife, the widow of this friend of mine, this morning, and I talked to her about this, so I have her permission to say this. And his sons, too. One of his sons just graduated from the Naval Academy and is an infantry Marine out in California. His other son is going to school at the University of Georgia. They approved of this. My friend's name's Lou. He was a bad boy. He'd been in the Navy for almost as long as me, and he was among the first people that left and went to Afghanistan immediately after 9/11. So he'd seen a lot, and this was 2005, so he'd been at it for a while. This was my first combat deployment in Afghanistan with him, and we were getting ready to do a mission where we were going to leave an airplane at a very high altitude. So he and I were sitting on the ramp of the airplane, because we were the jump masters, we had to get there early. We had all our kit on, we had our guns and rucksacks and all our night vision, all our crap. And we're sitting on the edge of the ramp, and the I don't know, the unit or one of the organizations that we were with in the task force had a photographer. So the photographer comes out and he takes a picture of us. And I nudged Lou and I go, that'll look really good on the memorial wall, won't it? At this point, we'd had a lot of friends die. So it was kind of a joke. We just joked about it. I mean, what else are you going to do, right? And he kind of laughed. And I said, speaking of that, Lou, this had happened, right? Because we'd had friends pass away very recently. And there was always these discussions about, well, they wouldn't want to be their picture on social media. They wouldn't want, you know. So I asked Lou, I said, hey, man, what would you want? How would you want to be honored, right? If you were killed. By the way, he was killed 6 years later. What would you want, Lou? And he said, man, Lou was a rough dude. And he said, man, I wouldn't want people to waste their damn time being sad. I would want them to take the life they have that I didn't have anymore, and I would want them to live it full. Ernest Hemingway said the only people that live their lives full are bullfighters. He liked to drink a bit, so I think he was off. I think every one of us has the opportunity to live our lives full, and one might argue that you have an obligation, really, to do so, especially the veterans. We come back, we're beat up. It's easy for us to say, damn, man, this is too much. I was there, I've been hospitalized, I've been through all of it. And now I try to do what I can on the backside. But that's what Lou asked us to do, and I think I'm gonna call this Lou's mission, right? Live your damn life full. You wanna respect veterans? You like these monuments? Make your life a monument to that effort that they exerted on our behalf. Make this country the country that they passed for. Be kind to each other. Help each other out. Quit being jerks, right? I have an example of how this works, and it's from a couple of Vietnam veterans. A few years after Lou and I had that discussion, sitting on that ramp, I got shot up pretty good. And I spent some time in Germany on my way home, and then got to DC and I spent some time there. Had a bunch of surgeries. About halfway through my time there, these two older fellas walked in my room. And I had some drugs in me, and I was tired and messed up, and I had a lot of people visit me. And these two guys walk in, they say, hey man, how you doing? I said, I'm fine. Who the hell are you guys? And they said, well, we're Vietnam veterans, and we're here to make sure you don't get treated the way we did. You see, they're on Lou's mission. They didn't give up and throw their hands in the air and say, out of hell with it. They were out there helping the next people that were going through what they went through. Actually, a lot harder. That's Lou's mission. We need to be on that, man. The last thing I'm going to say, just keep it short. Please consider this a call to action, man. Our country needs us right now. We stood up previously. We can do it again. We can be an example. I think our country needs it right now. You like monuments? Make your life a monument to those who stepped into the breach and didn't come home. Thank you.